Hello everyone, hope you're doing good. Fantastic, Amo. I'm happy to see you here. That was so fast. Hello, Mac. Hope you're doing good, mate. Okay, okay. So Amo, if you are because you are new here, just above this this channel, you can find members talk, right? So if you click on it, you can chat with me during the live session. Okay, you can ask any questions. You can even request any instrument or altcoin that you would like me to go over. Okay. As usual, we start with US500, DXY, USD dominance, Bitcoin, Ethereum to feel the overall market, and then we'll get into the remaining ones. Our second topic for this week or for today is altcoins to hold long term. So this is why you see like many new ones, for example, MKR, XMR, and so on, and Flow and so on. So I'll try to go over as many as possible. But if you want to go over a specific one, feel free to request it, and I will be happy to add it there. Okay, so if those who are watching on YouTube or any other platform, also feel free to ask your questions, and I will be happy to add it here as well. Okay, so let's get into it as more members are joining. Let's start with US 500 as usual to feel the overall market, not only the crypto market. We can see that we have been overall bearish from a long-term perspective, trading inside this falling broadening wedge, right? And we are currently in a correction phase, just like previously. The correction started after a break above the previous high multiple times. Here are some examples. So the correction might last for a couple of days or for a couple of weeks, okay? But we are currently in a correction phase. Yes, we are bullish, but it's just a short-term or a medium-term bullish trend inside this bigger bearish trend, right? And this area here is a massive zone that we are expecting the bears to kick in from here. If we zoom in, we can see that the zone in green is a strong support and resistance, support here, resistance here, support and minor one here, and now acting as a resistance zone. Second, it's a supply zone which is still fresh. After this bullish candle, we had an immediate shift in momentum and aggressive movement downward. Moreover, it's also lining up with the upper trend line. So if you delete everything and you can just like you feel the overall flow of like this bearish movement, we can see that after a correction movement, price has been respecting this trend line pretty much. So we're expecting a rejection from this area. That's why this area is a very strong one to expect that the bears will be kicking in. Of course, we don't sell blindly, we'll zoom into lower time frames and so on. That's why we zoom into H4 time frame. We can see that we are currently bullish as I showed you. So previously, here we go. Let me wait for it. We previously were bullish trading inside this rising channel, and again. You can like apply the same logic all over the place. So now we are waiting for something like this for the bears to take over to see a break below a major low. Now the 3.9K, which is this blue zone here, is a support area. So if it's broken downward, it wouldn't be good at all. We'll be expecting US500 to push lower from here for the next bearish impulse movement to start. But for now, as long as we are trading inside this bullish like channel, just like here, okay, but like for this one, it's a rising broadening wedge, and you can also go for this one as a channel. Okay, so in both ways, if we break below the 3.9K, expect a bearish movement. Okay. Meanwhile, we are still slightly bullish here because we had an impulse correction. We are currently in this impulse, but we are going flat. So if you go a little bit higher, we will be facing this massive resistance zone, which we saw from from daily time frame. So expect one more bullish movement if and only if we break above this high. Okay, if we break it higher, we'll be expecting further bullish movement. For example, here we got a consolidation, broke above the previous high, we made one more impulse before trading lower. So expect a very similar scenario. If we break above this high, we'll be expecting this, and then a movement lower, maybe later on this, and then a break below it. It would be like a big head and shoulders pattern. But anyway, let's take it step by step. For now, we are bullish inside a range lately, which is here. If we zoom into H1 time frame, we see that the correction has ended, around this area when we broke above these highs. Now this is a very important high. As I showed you, we are currently around this high price. As you can see now, rejected it, but we can still trade higher from here before trading lower, or even break it higher. In this case, we'll be trading higher. Okay, so I can't really say much for US500. We are from a medium-term perspective inside this big range. Let's see if we get one more bullish movement before we trade lower, or the bears will take over from here to kick inside this range again, and then we'll be trading like this until eventually it's broken downward or broken upward to reach resistance before we trade lower. That's it for US500. For DXY, we are currently approaching a strong support zone. We can see it very clearly from weekly time frame. It's a massive demand zone. That's it. Okay. Also, previously a resistance, now a support. If you zoom out, we can also see we've got multiple rejections from here. So we might hit a little bit lower till this area, till this 103. So let me draw it. I don't know why I don't have it, but I have it on a different layout. Let's go for 103. This is it, 103 till 103.5. So if we break below the zone, we'll be facing this support, which is an even stronger one. But for now, as long as we are above the zone, this is a support and demand zone, we'll be expecting a bullish movement. We might be trading a little bit higher to form a big head and shoulders pattern and then break it downward for a long-term bearish movement, because clearly the bears are pushing like more than ever. We have been bullish, very, very, very bullish previously. Correction, impulse flat correction, impulse flat correction, right? So look at this price action. The bulls were very strong, not even letting the bears make a classic correction, because usually in a bullish trend would be seeing something like this: impulse, a falling correction, impulse, a falling correction, usually to the last high, and then trade higher again and again, right? But when you see an impulse, a flat correction, it means that the bulls are very aggressive, not even letting the bears make a falling correction, which you can clearly see right here. Impulse, flat, impulse, flat, impulse, flat. Starting from here, we are now seeing a falling correction, which means that the bears are kicking in bit after bit. So falling, also falling, and look at this, right? So like this is how you see the shift in momentum in action. This is how you you feed it, more. And the very similar analysis, if you check this one out, we can see that we've got a big impulse movement, also a flat correction, a smaller impulse movement. If you compare this impulse to this impulse, it's a smaller one. And anyway, you also have these ones like this, right? And then look at this one. We had a bigger correction than usual. So small correction, small but bigger, an even bigger correction, right? So like this is how you feel it. The impulse movement will get small and flat, and the correction movements will get bigger and bigger. Okay, so like this is a perfect example, sorry, and this is also a perfect example. And then the confirmation would be after a break above the last major high, which was here, and also failing to make a low, instead making a higher low. So we are waiting now for something similar, or like for something like of course, like vice versa in case of a sell or in case of a bearish reversal here. But we didn't really have this one yet, which might be formed right here, be failing to make a higher high, instead making a lower high, and then break below the last major low. And this would be the shift in momentum from a long-term perspective, from bullish to bearish. So like the reason why I'm keeping an eye on the DXY, because for the crypto market to go higher, we would like, or we would need the DXY to become fully bearish. Now the situation is good from daily time. This is the first time we see a break below a major low from daily, because look at this. If you zoom out previously, right, only one one swing of a bearish movement, one swing, but look at this, multiple swings, and then broken downward. Now we have a reversal. The bears are officially in control from daily time frame, but I would like to see also a break below these lows for the bears to take over from a longer term perspective, from weekly time frame, to reverse this entire bullish trend. Now Okay, so now and meanwhile, since we're around the support, the boost can still kick in from here. We might still dive a little bit below it before trading higher. If you go to daily time frame, I don't really, sorry, H4 time frame, I don't really have much to add, except that we have been bearish, especially the last leg, which is here. So previously impulse correction flat, and then we had an immediate movement downward. Inside this last bullish movement, we have our impulse and got stuck here, and then made our correction, which is a bigger correction, right? And now we are retesting this previous support area. So this is a support. Even if you dive a little bit inside it, we would be expecting a bullish movement unless we see an aggressive break below it and below this low, of course, from weekly time frame. In this case, we'll be expecting further bearish movement from here, which would be good for the crypto markets. Okay, DJ, hope you're doing good. Bukarik, happy to see you here, man. Okay, fantastic. If you have any questions, let me know in the members talk. Okay, good evening, DJ. So now, since we've felt the market from US500 and DXY, let's get into crypto, right? Finally. So if you go to daily time frame, we can see that we have been bullish lately for USDT dominance. Of course, like bullish USDT dominance, which means bearish for the crypto market. We've got this like rising broadening wedge. We lately, or like 2 days ago, we rejected this resistance zone. We are currently trading lower. This is definitely a very strong support. Previously a support, now a resistance, and now broken upward. As you can see, price rejected it here as well. So it's a support zone. For the bears to take over here, like we need to see a break below it for it to act as a resistance again. And then we expect a push lower till the next support zone. Let me drag this one like this. And here we go. Okay, so this would be it. Let me fix these ones as well. Here we go. Okay, so if you break it down, we will be expecting a leg like this. It would be here we go, a higher low, an impulse correction, and then impulse movement like this before we expect a bullish movement. For now, let's take it step by step. We are currently here inside this range. If you zoom into H4 time frame, I can't really add much except that we rejected the support zone. If you zoom into H1 time frame, we can see it like a little bit better. We are currently trading inside this rising broadening wedge, as you can clearly see in blue. Let's make it in red because we've already got blue up there and down there. That's it. Okay, so we might be able to push a little bit lower before we trade higher, because like we still have some room to reach the lower bound. However, you can clearly see that we have been making higher lows and higher highs. So as you see here, higher lows, right? So it might be like this as a higher low, and then we keep on moving higher from here. Lately, the bulls took over here by breaking the symmetrical triangle. We traded higher, and then the bears took over here by breaking this low, which you can see it very similar one on Bitcoin as a high. Anyway, we'll see it better in a bit. Now we are here. If we break above this zone right here, we'll also see it better on Bitcoin and Ethereum. We'll be expecting a bullish movement on USDT dominance, and you can also go for this zone like this, like a small or minor support and resistance. If we break it higher, expect a bullish movement on USDT dominance. Meanwhile, we are still bearish. This is just a correction movement, just like here. We'll be expecting one more bearish impulse movement before we dive into a very strong support zone, as I showed you from, as I showed you from daily time frame. So for the bears to take over here, like from a longer term perspective, for the bulls to take over in the crypto market, we need to see a break below this area here.